blushing brides, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Kyle James and I am a wedding planner and event designer turned YouTuber. I make videos on all things wedding planning. I'm super excited about today's video because I've been more into the design aspects of weddings and events lately than I have on like the full logistics. So I'm super excited to start sharing more design related videos. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any specific styles or specific categories of wedding or event design that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. So today I'm going through 81 boho wedding and event ideas. So the design for a wedding is going to be a lot more elaborate and have a lot more aspects to it. But I think any of this can apply to any kind of party, whether it's your bridal shower, your bachelorette party, a baby shower, a birthday party, even just like a small brunch with friends. Just taking a few of these aspects can make it really pretty, really beautiful, and really boho. Really quick before we dive into all of those ideas, I wanted to talk to you about the Unveiled Ultimate Wedding Planning Workbook. The workbook is over 160 pages of wedding planner worksheets and checklists that walk you step by step through the entire wedding planning process. Basically, every single aspect of your wedding, from creating the vision and laying out your budget to how to book each vendor and what questions you need to ask them so that you don't accidentally book a dud. And just all of the different tracking worksheets that will keep your thoughts organized so that everything can go really smoothly and so that you feel calm and collected instead of like overwhelmed and stressed. And it's all in order by timeline, so you'll know that you're getting things done on time and you're not forgetting anything. Also, it's an instant download, so you can literally go get it right now, print it off, and start working on getting your wedding planning organized today. So go grab your workbook and start your wedding planning binder so that you can keep everything, especially your decor and your floral, super organized and you know what you need to be doing and when. All right, let's dive into those boho wedding ideas. All right, before I dive into the specific ideas, boho wedding and party ideas for you, I'm gonna talk about 10 places to incorporate your theme into your wedding or party decor. And then for each of those places, I'll show you different ideas. So number 1 is your save the dates and invitations. This is a really important place to incorporate your theme because it kind of sets the tone for your big day. The next place is in your signs. You can do a feature wall or backdrop and have your theme on that. The next place is your menu, your food and your drinks. Tabletop and floral, this is an obvious one, so like your centerpieces and then all of the things that you have on your table to make it feel more boho, and then your floral as well, your seating chart and escort cards. And then you can also incorporate your theme into any activities or games that you're doing. And then the last place that is a great place to incorporate your theme is your favors. If you incorporate your theme into each of these pieces, it's gonna be very obvious what your theme is, and I feel like it really just ties it all together, adding in elements into each of these that go along with your theme. So for all of the different elements and ideas that I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna explain how to get the look as well, because I feel like you can see all of these beautiful photos on Instagram and Pinterest and you're like, I get it, that looks super cute, but like how do I make mine look like that? So I'm gonna talk you through how to get the look for all of these ideas, but I'll also give you ideas for how to get the same look on more of a budget as well. All right, so let's start with the save the dates. Here are a few really cute save the date ideas. I will link all of these below. These are from Minted. I love the little shapes, the little like wind chime one, and you can include a couple different engagement photos on that one. This one comes in a bunch of different colors as well. I just chose this pink color, and then you can also choose the color of the foil as well. So there's so many different combinations that you can do that can go with your colors and then with your theme. And then there's the floral ring one that's super cute, and that has a couple different color options as well. And then I love arches. You'll see like there's arches everywhere in this video. All right, let's jump into invitation ideas. So this invitation is actually going to be from my featured wedding in this video. There is one boho wedding that I found that I am just obsessed with all the elements. They did such a good job. I love the colors. I love the way everything ties together. So I will link that below and you'll see more of this wedding throughout this video. But this is their entire suite. So They have the orange card is the actual invitation card. And then the Let's Do This Thing card is super cute. I love how they added the little geometric shape gold paper clip on it. That adds so much to it, I think. Super cute. I also love how they did such casual wording on their invitations. I feel like boho is kind of like laid back and casual. So having that incorporated into the wording on your invitations can really add a lot, like bring the theme together there. And then they also did a really cute envelope with the artsy minor. So these ones, I think they just had them done custom, but there are so many options for the arch invitations. And you could also go to your local paper shop or a wedding invitation person and have them design this for you and just show them the lettering. Like I said, I'll link this wedding below, so if you wanted to pull this, you can, and then you can also pin it to your wedding board too. And then here are a few other invitation ideas that I found on Minted. I love, here's an arch one, and this one has the foil little arch with the leaves on it. I think this is really pretty. This one comes in a bunch of different colors. And then you can also see the envelope has the little arch as well. So it just like all comes together so beautifully and it just looks really good. This one is a little bit more formal of an invite if you wanted to do that. I also love this pressed invitation. Oh my gosh. So it's like on pressed cotton. So it's gonna feel very high end. And I love the envelope that comes with this one, how they kind of have the address is kind of tilted a little so it looks very handwritten. And then you can get the matching stamp too, which is so cute. And then one more boho invitation that I really love. I love this one with the little bands. It's kind of an in-between formal and informal one, how it just has the first names of the couple, but it is still a little bit formal looking. And this one comes in a bunch of different colors as well. All right, next let's get into some boho wedding sign ideas. So the first sign, and I think the one with the biggest impact, is going to be your welcome sign, because this is what your guests are gonna see first. And I think this really sets the tone for your theme for your big day. It can add a big pop. So I love the arches, like I said. The arch shape is just so cute. So this one is on Etsy. I will link it below. I think this one is on acrylic. I also love this one. It's pretty simple. I think the touch that like makes it so cute and special is the linen ribbon that they used to hang it from the backdrop stand. I found some linen ribbon like this on Amazon. I'll link it below. It just feels super like earthy and boho and just a really, really cute touch. And then here is the welcome sign from my featured wedding of Katie and Philip. They did the arch as well. They probably had this printed on like a foam board or something, I'm guessing. A few other touches they did that just make this like really pop and like make it a total wow factor is the backdrop stand is like a white arch backdrop stand. So you could find one of these online, or this is something that a rental company would have. So the rental company that you're using for your table settings and all of that stuff, definitely ask them what kind of backdrop stands that they have and take a look. They also had their florist do a small arrangement that they attached onto there as well, and with the palm leaves, the dried leaves, and like just kind of the feathery white touches, it just feels so boho and beautiful. And then the other thing that they did here is they added a basket. Baskets, I think, are going to be a huge element in a boho theme. It's a great way to incorporate your theme and just add a little bit more to all of your elements by having a basket there. And these are things that you could use afterwards as well in your home. So you can totally buy them, keep an eye out maybe at thrift stores if you're on a budget, or just find baskets that you would want to use in your home and then use them throughout your wedding for the decor. Another super cute thing would be like just like a Moroccan leather poof with like a little arrangement on top of it would also be a really cute boho touch that you could add next to the sign. All right, let's talk about some boho ceremony backdrop ideas. So if you have a big budget, then doing a really beautiful boho floral installation is just stunning for the backdrop for your ceremony. I love this one. They have all the pampas grass sticking out. That feathery long pampas grass is huge, so it gives you like a big wow factor without having to spend too much money, and it totally gives you that boho vibe. So if you are on more of a budget, you could do like a smaller arrangement, but still do that big pampas grass, that big fluffy pampas grass, and some other like fluffy dried floral would be a great ceremony backdrop. And then this one, they did a copper backdrop stand and then had the florist do a floral installation on that. And actually, these installations wouldn't be that expensive because if you look closely at them, they don't actually have that many flowers in them. They're just really spread out. So it looks big and it like really makes a statement, but it's not one of those pieces that has a million flowers and it's gonna cost a ton of money to do. So going boho is actually kind of a nice way to save money if you need to, because you can add the big pampas grass, you can add like the big dried leaves and stuff like that. And it's all big and less expensive, and then just have a few flowers and you can put them in loosely because that loose look goes along with like the casual boho look. And so you're not using as many flowers as you would in other installations necessarily. And then I'll get to this later, but you could also use this installation and this entire backdrop. You could just have your planner or your coordinator move this into the reception, maybe add a little sign on it or something, and then use it behind your sweetheart or head table. So you would get double use out of this. I love creating the ceremony backdrops with the intention of using them in the reception because they're so big and beautiful, and oftentimes the ceremony doesn't even last that long at all, and it's something that can totally be repurposed and reused in your reception. And then here is the ceremony backdrop from the featured wedding. Oh, I'm obsessed. It's so beautiful. So let's take a closer look at the different elements here. So this is probably like a plywood structure that they had custom built. So you could find someone locally to do that for you, or you could do it yourself. And then they had some floral installations put on the arch itself, as well as a chandelier that looks like it was probably already part of the venue. They may have added that through the rental company, but then they added floral onto that, and it just made for such a wow factor. And then they did one more smaller installation on that little inside arch as well. Then they also had these arrangements on the ground with that tall pampas grass. Like I said, that pampas grass is just gonna add such a boho touch to everything, and it's so big and fluffy and beautiful. It's really makes a statement, and you don't need that much of it. And then they also have these big wicker vases. So if you wanted some of these for your house, you could totally buy them and do that and then use them as home decor later. But this is something that you would find through a rental company. And depending on where you live, if you're in Southern California, I know there's multiple rental companies that are specifically boho themed. So they just have tons of this kind of stuff. So you could find all of the wicker baskets and vases and everything through a rental company. And then you'll also notice the chairs for the ceremony. They took it a step further and they got these leather chairs. They look like leather, I think. These boho leather chairs that just add so much. Chairs are something that can kind of put a strain on your budget if you are on a tighter budget. So don't feel like you have to do this. But if you do have the room in your budget to do this, it adds so much. Another idea here is you could do some like boho chairs for the front row or the front 2 rows, and then have the other ones just be like the white resin chairs. And you would still get the pop of the boho chair look without having to pay for chairs for every single person. And then I believe they reused part of the arch and parts of this throughout this reception. I'll point that out when I get to that part. But if it was me, I would definitely have that arch behind the sweetheart table and then have those big floral arrangements in front with the vases on the side, and just reuse all of this to make your sweetheart table super boho and a really big statement piece. I always try to get as much out of each element as possible. And then another idea that's super cute for your ceremony that's super boho is having assorted rugs along your aisle. I think it's so pretty. It adds so much to it. It would be a little bit expensive to do. This is something you would rent through a rental company as well, but I think it's probably like $100 to $300 per rug. So depending on how many you needed, it could add up. But you could also just do one rug like under the ceremony space where you're actually standing too, and still get that pop. All right, next let's talk boho feature walls. So here is a boho sweetheart table. So this is the one that I was talking about when I was showing you the ceremony with the copper backdrop. By the way, I do have a link for the copper backdrop stand. If your rental company doesn't have one, you can totally buy them. They're actually not that expensive on Etsy. So check the links below if you're interested in that. But I think they just moved the copper backdrop stand from the ceremony and then moved it behind the sweetheart table and then moved the big arrangements that were on the either side of that stand in front of the table. And just look at how much that adds. So it's like you're getting double use out of all of these pieces, and it just looks stunning. They also did these boho peacock chairs. That's another thing you would want to check with your rental company. Another really beautiful boho like feature wall. It's not technically a wall, but feature idea is to do chandeliers, like an assortment of chandeliers. If you have a tented event or you do have a venue where you could hang chandeliers, doing some assortment of chandeliers just adds such a cool, beautiful boho touch, and it's so different. If you wanted a feature like this, I would work with the rental company and the florist together to get the perfect look. And then here is the feature wall from the featured wedding, the Katie and Philip's wedding. So they did the neon sign. I'll link the neon sign below that you can get custom neon signs on Etsy. And then they did, it's probably just a plywood arch. So that's something that you would ask your rental company for. Your florist might have something, or you could just have that made. They also did put their feature wall to good use. They did the dress photos in front of it, which I think turned out really, really pretty. And then they also did the end of the evening photos in front of it as well. All right, next, let's talk boho menu, food and drink ideas. If you are doing a plated seated dinner, you could do a menu. These are like hand-painted acrylic ones. And then you could also just do like a paper printed menu. It just adds so much if you are doing a seated plated dinner. And then I love this arch menu as well. Let's get those arches in everywhere we can. Another great menu to do to add your theme in is your bar menu. So I found this bar menu on Etsy, and they just have it in a simple gold frame. So you could literally like print these yourself if you wanted to, and then just buy picture frames and have them on either side of the bar. This one they have them on like a little wooden charger, and then have some pampas grass there too. Just adding those little touches with your sign just make the sign really pop. Then you could also do these little arch bar signs as well. I think they just made these out of paper actually. And then here is the drinks menu from my featured wedding, Katie and Philip's wedding. They did the terracotta color arch bar menu, and then they just did a simple wooden Escort card holder. I'll link those below. And then, like I said, having these little elements around add so much. So they just did a candle and then a small bud vase. So you don't even have to have a ton of floral, but it adds so much to the feel. And then they also did custom stir sticks. I will link this below as well. That can add a great personalized touch to your drinks. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning, you can just even have your drinks be boho-y. So they have like dried flowers and like rosemary and stuff in the drinks as garnish, and it just makes them feel more boho than just your everyday drinks. So if you are doing a specialty cocktail, work with your bar to come up with a garnish that goes along with your theme. And then definitely need to talk about cakes in this part. The wedding cake is a great place to do a boho touch as well. And then here is the cake from the featured wedding. So notice the arch behind there. I think that might have been one of the arches from their ceremony, and they just moved it behind the cake table. And then they have a really pretty cake. I like how they did a smaller wedding cake that's very loud but then did a bunch of other little desserts as well. I think that's a super cute touch. And then they have it on this like wicker cake stand. Like the stands and the little elements that you put around each of these elements are what can just like really make it all pop. And it's not that expensive. It's really simple to do. It's just a matter of paying attention to those details and making them happen and getting them to be on theme. That will really make your theme come to life in your wedding. All right, next let's get into boho, tabletop, and floral ideas. So the main thing that's gonna make your floral super boho-y is that pampas grass. I keep talking about it, but it just makes such a huge statement and definitely makes the theme. So I love this table. They did the peacock chairs and then the candlesticks and then just tons of pampas grass. Here's another idea. The thing that makes those really beautiful centerpiece photos come to life, like this one, is having several different elements on there that all tie into the theme. So you can see they have like a linen tablecloth here, and they actually have a pretty small floral centerpiece, so they're not spending a ton on centerpieces. But then they have these other like vases with some grasses in there, and then they also have a selection of different votive candle holders. And then they also did these little terrariums as well. So having all of these different elements all together is just really gonna create a wow factor and really make your theme pop. Here's another photo of the chandelier installation. If you did have the budget and the venue that works for chandeliers, having chandeliers over your table would just be stunning. Something I love that they did with this one is you'll notice the bright red velvet chairs, and just having them for the head table, you still get the pop, you still get the feel of them, but you don't have to have them on every table. They did the wooden farm tables, so they did not do tablecloths. I love that feel for boho. They did do some fabric for the runners, so it looks like they have like some sort of linen underneath maybe, and then like a chiffon blush runner on top of that, and then they did the flowers on top of that. Having these runners, these different runners, adds so much because they're like a big element, and they're actually not that expensive to do. And then you'll also notice for table settings, they did gold chargers, white plates, mix and match white plates with the linen napkin. So all of these are gonna be upgrades. All of these are upgrades from your base price rentals package. But you could just upgrade pieces and parts of this to work for your budget. So maybe you just do the gold chargers and the gold silverware, but you leave the plates, just your regular plates. And then they also did 3 different glasses, the color glasses. So if you were on a tighter budget or you just didn't want to do this many glasses, that's understandable. You could just do like maybe the red glasses or the colored glasses as like a big pop for the water glasses, and then just have regular glassware for everything else. But having that colored glassware on the table just adds so much to it. And they also have these like antique bells that they used for their table numbers, so that's a great way to add lots of personality and add a nice touch to your centerpieces, is doing something unique and special with your table numbers. And then they also had the tall candlesticks as well. All right, let's look at our featured wedding, Katie and Philip's wedding. Their tabletop is a little bit more minimal than some of the other ones I've just showed you, but still so boho and so beautiful. Instead of doing like chargers and having multiple plates and everything, it looks like they did these like boho placemats basically, and then they did velvet linens hanging off of that adds just so much texture and color. It's so beautiful. And then the Escort cards are the arch, just simple arch Escort cards, which add the arches in there and bring it all together. And then it looks like they did the stir sticks from their bar and added those on the plate as well. And then they also did the colored drinkware as well. That just adds so much. And I like how they did small centerpieces. The look is to have it looser and kind of like sprawling instead of have it tightly packed. And when you have floral tightly packed, you need a lot more of it to make a statement. But this, they only have like 10 to 12 stems, it looks like, per centerpiece. And then they add in a few of the different dried elements, and it's just stunning. So that's their head table. And then for the guest tables, they did not do Escort cards. They did not do placemats. They just did the plates with the napkins and then the gold silverware, and they didn't even do the colored drinkware on the tables. But look how beautiful it still looks. Like if you saw the head table and then you saw the guest tables, it all just feels like it's all super high end still, but you don't have to have all of the elements on every table. It looks like they did kind of a mix and match on the table of a few small bud vases, the arch table numbers, and then a few candles as well. So that's definitely a budget-friendly centerpiece that you could do. Then here's another really cute boho tabletop idea with the mix and match colored glassware on there. So let's take a closer look at this table setting. They did these beautiful plates. They did a little macrame touch on the place card that adds so much. I love the prints on their linen. So they did like a print tablecloth and then a different print on their napkin as well, and it just feels so nice, so good. And then they did these small-ish centerpieces, but they did a lot of them. And then I love, you can kind of see, I didn't get like a good photo, but they kind of had a snack board across the center of the table, and that was kind of the main thing. I love that idea because a lot of times guests will sit down and there's kind of a little bit of wait before the food starts, so having like a little snack board in the middle would be such a cool touch. And then they also did the colored glasses as well as these iridescent water glasses. Oh, I'm obsessed with those. I love that so much. And so having all of these different textures just make it feel so high-end. All right, another place to add in your theme is your seating chart. This is a great place to do it because every guest is gonna look at it then, so you'll definitely get your money's worth. The first one is from our featured wedding, Katie and Philip's wedding, and they did the arch seating chart, which looks great. Another boho seating chart idea that I absolutely adore is this one that's made out of mirrors. So you could make this, you could do it by hand, you could have somebody do it on Etsy, or you could use a Cricut and use vinyl to make these. But they did different like boho mirrors for each one, and then each table is one of the mirrors. And then they did some nice little touches on the sides. Like I said, these like baskets and little touches that you do on the sides of your signs just add so much more to them and really make them pop. So they just did these small baskets with candles, and then they did another basket and just put like a coiled up rope in it. It's super simple to do, but it just looks stunning. And then one more really pretty boho seating chart idea is this wooden backdrop one, and they just did our favorite people on there and then had paper cards printed and just stuck those on there and then added the floral pieces on either side. All right, let's talk boho escort / place card ideas. We can add in those arches there. These are just on Etsy. You could also do these are actually amber. I love how they're all different, and then this would be a nice little favor that the guests could take home with them too. And then you could also just do the terracotta mix and match colors of the arches too. These are all on Etsy, so I will link them below if you like any of those. All right, let's look at some boho activity ideas. The first one is the photo booth. There are so many cool photo booth options coming out now. There's a lot of these like surf vans that they made into photo booths. They would add so much to your theme and just be like a really fun guest experience. Another fun boho activity idea is custom cornhole boards. These are really cool because you could totally keep these and use these afterwards at your house for like barbecue or whatever, but they're also a great way to add in your theme and colors. I found these on Etsy, I'll link them below. And then they even did custom bean bags too. So that's really cute, really personal, and I love having I don't know, old school casual vibe to it, which kind of goes along with boho. And then like they did here, they just made a super cute boho sign, and then they had the little dried grass elements to tie it all together along with a little linen. But just having all those little elements by the sign just make it feel like it goes along with the theme and make it feel very intentional. And also that's a fun little touch for your guests instead of your regular everyday guest book. All right, now let's talk boho favor ideas. If you haven't watched my wedding favor video, I have a few of them actually, but I have a bunch of favor ideas that would work perfectly along with these favor tags. But definitely check that out so that you can make sure that you're getting favors that your guests actually want. But there's a lot of great ways to add your theme into your favors. So here are favor tags. So this could be added on to any favor that you wanted to give, whether it was like a jar of honey or something from a local boutique or something like that. Having this little thank you tag with the arch on it again. And then they used leather as the tie there, and I think that adds a lot of personality and makes it feel pretty boho. And then instead of leather, you could also use the linen ribbon there too, if you already bought that for your other sign. I feel like coffee kind of goes along with the casual boho vibe too for some reason, but the perfect blend. These are super cute. You can just buy these bags on Etsy. I will link them below, as well as the tags. All of these favors I have linked below. Feathers are also another really boho-y touch, so having a feather bottle opener would be a great favor idea. Bottle openers are one of my favorite favors because it's something that everybody uses. You could also do these key bottle openers, and I think you could make a really pretty display out of these. And then I would also do a boho on theme sign by your wedding favors as well to just tie it all together. I hope that video was helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below which ideas you'll be using, or if you have other boho ideas that you are using that I didn't talk about. You can include those in the comments below as well. I just love hearing from you and love hearing what you're putting together for your wedding. Don't forget to get your wedding planning binder put together. Go grab the Unveiled Ultimate Wedding Planning Workbook. The links are in the description below. Also, if you're not already, be sure that you're subscribed. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna be doing a lot more design content. My channel's already packed full of tons of wedding planning logistics and advice. So if you are planning your wedding, be sure that you head over to my channel and go through all of that. I have so much on there, but I'm also going to be adding a lot more content around like wedding design and event design. So I'm super excited about that. So subscribe if that's something that you're into, and we'll see you next time. Happy planning.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know